Alrighty, welcome back lads and ladies to another episode of Godzilla. Now, as I've stated last time round, I finished off the first four, Godzilla, Anguirus, or Anguirus, or however you like to pronounce him, and the two Mothras, Lava in adult form. Might come back and do Mothra Lava at some point because, you know, can't end on defeat. Or maybe I might have shown that in the previous episode, and if I have, good on you. So yes, we're here today to do Rodan. Now, it's been a while since I've played Rodan, so it might take me a few matches to get used to him, but we should be okay against MechaGodzilla. We are massive. Extremely massive. It's quite acrobatic. Once you get those movements on, you're pretty much set in stone. That's right, he's got a wind slash attack. His flight mode is not as good as King Ghidorah's, I'd say, but it's decent. Let me see, this... Oh... Wait... Whoop! This attack is perfect for destroying those generators. Because it goes in slow motion when you hit the building, it literally destroys them before you can hit the ground, basically, because it won't stop otherwise. Whoop. I really wish this game did have an update. Most game developers don't really enjoy Godzilla, really, which is a shame because they could easily make the greatest Godzilla fighting game if they wanted to. Like, update them with like the monster version skins, like the Monsterverse skins, like the Reiwa skins, and believe you me, Rodan would sell like hotcakes. The one thing I really liked in King of the Monsters was Rodan's design. He truly looked like a fire demon coming out of that volcano when you first saw him, basically. Jet Jaguar. Wasn't there an ability where I could actually fly forwards? I thought I could fly forwards in this form, no? Yes, it was circle, that's right. There we go. Not much damage done, really. Whoop. This isn't really the most fleshed out game when you think about it, because if I can just overwhelm someone like this, you can just literally destroy opponents in like 1v1s basically. It's all about the timing, really. Godzilla Mark II, okay. You can tell it's MechaGodzilla Mark II because of the gloss on the skin, basically. A bit closer. I love Rodan's roar. And if you're wondering, yes, I've seen all of the respective Monsters movies. Rodan's one back in... what was it? 1962? I'm not so sure when Rodan's movie came out, but I do remember watching it. I was about... well, I wasn't even born, basically. But I do remember watching it when I was like 12 or 13 because I really wanted to understand who the Kaiju was basically as a character. And it's kind of a heartbreaking story, really. Like at the ending, when I'm not going to ruin it for you. You should go and watch it, really. But it's just so heartbreaking. It's a heartbreaking film, basically, at the end of that. There's two of them. There's a mating couple of Rodans in there. Anguirus. Now this might be one of the tougher opponents for Rodan because he's so small. I'm surprised he actually hit me there. I couldn't stop attacking. Now I got him. Timing is everything. If you go too early, they catch you. If you go too late, you lose your power. Doop. Now we go up. Doop. Let me show you what I mean by destroying the building. I hope I can reach it. Oh, he intercepted me. Oh. Oh. That was interesting. See? It completely destroys the generator. There we go. Nope, you're not doing that again. As you all know, I'm not really going for the quickest time, it's just here to show off the Kaiju. And their abilities. Destoroyah! Honestly, I'm surprised he's only like a one-time villain. He's almost got the same popularity as like King Ghidorah. Truly, I would love to see him in like the Monsterverse, in the Reiwa version of Godzilla. It would look awesome. That horn attack is so dangerous. Oh, Jesus. Come on, I can win as Mothra, I can do it here too with Rodan. I just need an opening. Oh, you bastard. He's not letting me get an opening. Fuck off, man! I'm not getting an opening! No. You've got to be kidding me. Am I actually going to die because he keeps interrupting me? Oh no. Yep, I died. Damn. Rodan got bodied. First by Boyolante and now by Destoroyah. As I've said, it's all about openings. If the opponent has better openings and is able to attack more than you, then there's really nothing you can do. Alright, well. We can move on to King Ghidorah now. I'm facing a lot of MechaGodzillas recently. But fuck those buildings. Okay. If I can remember how he works. Spin and dive. Yep. Truly a destructible technique, that one. But the real power comes from his electrical beam. Now imagine if I'm right in MechaGodzilla's face when I do that. Which I should be here. Oh, you still had his shield up. Look at that health go down. I think the ranking I've got for the quickest time to end this was with Not not King Ghidorah, it's Mecha King Ghidorah. For some reason, Mecha King Ghidorah's like beam was so much more powerful. Look at that, 52 seconds. That is an extremely powerful attack. As King Ghidorah should be. I mean, he's like an alien from Venus, for goodness sakes. This is a fucking extraterrestrial monster. Look at that destructive power. Truly a gorgeous design. A worthy enemy for Godzilla, I'd say. So powerful. Should end in here. There we go. Under 40 seconds, that one, I think. Truly a shit stain of a monster, Hedorah. I do have that film still on VHS, Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Ah, Gimp Gigan. Nice to see you, buddy. You got bodied in Final Wars, if I am correct, not only by Godzilla, but by Mothra too. And she survived. You know it's a bad day when you get bodied by Mothra and she survives the engagement. The only other times that I think she's survived engagements is when she's either been in a lava form for some reason, or if there's been multiple monsters at bay, or in the Mothra Rebirth versions. Jesus Christ, the building's just destroying them at the moment. Ghidorah is just an absolute unit. Batra. Big target, easy enough for me to hit. I barely get interrupted when I'm in the air as well because I'm just too massive. That's the same problem with Destoroyah, because he's just a massive bulk of muscle basically, so trying to stagger him is nigh on impossible. So how I won with Mothra, I guess it's thanks to her abilities that I know her so well. Oh, the Batra's putting up a good fight here. Oh, that's a... Oh, look at that damage! That is a point blast range attack. Poor Batra felt like Mothra from the 2019 film. Jesus. A full frontal blast. Ah, Mecha King Ghidorah. Let's see how we fare against... I really like this Mecha King Ghidorah design. I love that the middle metal head is just completely metal. So damaging. And again, he uses his wing attack. Nice. I can do that too, but I'd rather hit you with my beam. How did I miss him? That's something that I really liked that they did in the Monsterverse version of King Ghidorah. They made him so massive that they had to use wide-angle shots to be able to capture, like, the majesty of his wings. The wings were the focal point of King Ghidorah, basically. And they managed to do that perfectly in that film. Yeah, the only way to topple King Ghidorah is another King Ghidorah. Unless if I face Godzilla. Oh, speaking of which. You're not from 2019, mate. You're not going to survive this conflict. Or maybe you will. I need to get close enough to him to be able to do as much damage as possible. The problem is if I'm too close, he'll just let one off in my face. I need to get him into the corner somehow. Back away, back away. I can't seem to get an opening. I can do that too. It's a shame. I really prefer the old roar that he had in the Showa era. You know, the like that one. I can't do the actual roar, but I prefer that one to whatever this one is. It's kind of like a hyena laughing, but you high-pitched it in a certain sense. That's kind of what it sounded like. Well, we'll do Hedorah. Not my favourite, and I might probably fail with him. The only reason why I was able to do him, I think, is because I was very defensive. So this might be very tricky. He's just an ugly design. Like, who looks at this and think, yeah, this is monster material? He's got good stagger though, I'll give him that. And his beam's not bad. And for some reason he floats in his second form. He had quite a few forms actually. And one with him was that he was able to turn into like a flying flapjack of a saucer, basically. I wish you could do that, like you could transform into like his flying saucer phase. Out of all of them though, Hedorah was the one that really scared the crap out of me the most when I was a kid. Because there's this scene where the kid is like looking at a photo of the creature and his head is like he's like a tadpole at this point. I'd roughly say he was a tadpole. He looked like a pile of shit to be fair, but yeah, he was like, his head was like poking out of the water and his eyes looked so menacing in a certain sense. It just scared the shit out of me. Then there was a section where the chap who was like looking for him, he like found the exoskeleton or something of the creature itself, or where it came from, and he was just swimming through the water with him basically, and you see him like slowly come towards him with that fucking face, and it just zooms in on him. It scared me. It really scared me. But hey, I was a young lad when I saw it. That might be due to my thalassophobia, like, that might have been my early setting of thalassophobia, like something just coming out of the darkness and just coming at you in the middle of the water, you know? Not the most enjoyable thing to see. But yeah, not the best film in the series. It was definitely one of the wackier, cheesier versions of Godzilla. That was the one where he like turned around and started to fly with his breath in the air. Some very questionable choices within the Showa era of Godzilla for sure. That's when... When did it start to get geared towards children? I think maybe when Son of Godzilla came around, or it might have been the one before that, I'm not so sure. It might have been Astro Monster, because that's kind of... It might have been the one after Astro Monster, because that was when Mothra, Rodan and Godzilla basically teamed up to face King Ghidorah, and that was the fourth film, I think, in the series. It might have been the fifth, I'm not so sure, because I think... Yeah, the third film was... The third film was Godzilla vs. King Kong, then Mothra, and then, you know, Godzilla vs. Mothra. And then we got introduced to Rodan, I think, in Godzilla versus the Astro Monster? And then Ghidorah showed up again, I think, in Godzilla vs King Ghidorah, I believe. That was when, like, she stayed in her lava form. Which is a shame, really. I feel like if you're going to show Mothra off, you should show her off in her entirety. Not just, like, her moth form, but also her lava form, and not one over the other. Kind of like what they did with Batra. Batra's another guy that I really wanted to see more constantly, because that storyline was very good. Being able to see Batra and Mothra together. Fuck you. To see Batra and Mothra basically either teaming up or fighting with each other, basically. It was always a good pleasure to see that dynamic between them, basically. I think that was rated maybe the 3rd or 2nd most watched film, I think, in the Showa era? No, it wasn't Showa, it was Heisei, that's right. That was the Heisei era. It was, the 2nd era after... Ooh, nice. The, Showa era, basically. I'd definitely say that was probably the 2nd most popular, because I think Godzilla vs. Destoroyah was the more famous one, because of the death of Godzilla, basically, coming into play. Surprised I missed him there that much. Getting some good hits on him there. You know what he sounds like? Hedorah honestly sounds like a toad being squished. But listen to this, it sounds like a toad. Bye, Gigan. You got shat on by a shit monster. You got shat on by a shit monster. Well, don't get me wrong, Rodan has gone through some interesting changes over the years. I love the noise that he makes from the Showa era, but give me his Heisei era design, or it might be his Millennium, I'm not... No, I think it was Heisei. Or was it? Or was it Millennium? I think it was Millennium when they changed his design. That was when, for some reason, Godzilla was able to have, like, an extra fiery radioactive breath because of Rodan's sacrifice or something like that. And then there was the one with the giant monsters all-out attack film, where Godzilla was actually the bad guy in that and King Ghidorah was the good guy. Yeah, I know, a lot of explaining to do. Apparently, it's not Godzilla in a certain sense as we know it. Godzilla, well, I think in that was meant to be like the personification of all of the dead civilians from the Hiroshima and the Nagasaki bombings, basically. Which was an interesting concept. It really kind of ties back into the motion of that, you know, this is like their revenge or their arc of story. This is Japan's way of remembering all of the lost souls and how radioactivity and like nuclear testing should just be completely eradicated in a certain sense, and I appreciate that. That's partly where Godzilla versus no, Godzilla King of the Monsters kind of came into play there. They basically just switched the roles, where Ghidorah was now the bad guy and Godzilla was the good guy, and Mothra sacrificed herself for Godzilla to defeat King Ghidorah. So they're kind of taking those ideas and nuances from previous films and adding them into the newer one. So it's kind of like a kind of like a thank you series, the Monsterverse, in a certain sense. They're kind of keeping it original, but also adding ideas from older films in a certain sense, if you've seen them. Like how they use the Oxygen Destroyer to kind of stop Ghidorah and Godzilla fighting each other at that one specific moment. sooner or later that will come into play, the Oxygen Destroyer, and it will probably bring about Destoroyah at some point, which I cannot wait to see. I feel like they are really going to pull out the stops to make Destoroyah really epic looking, and hopefully they can get rid of that anus on his chest, because that is the one thing I don't like about this character's design. The rest of him looks fucking epic. This is kind of poignant, really. Smog monster that looks like shit is facing the demon with an anus on his chest. Oh, I forgot you could do that. Ranged is definitely the best way to go with Destoroyah. And if you're wondering why I'm saying Destoroyah, that's technically the... that's the way you say it in broken English in a certain sense. Although the actual American English translation was Destroyer, people prefer to say it like Destoroyah because it just sounds better, really, if you ask me. No, get away from me, you ugly bastard. I'm very disappointed that I was able to beat Destoroyah as a smog monster, but not as Rodan. That's kind of insulting. It's kind of a good thing to have ranged weaponry. Alright, MechaGodzilla. This is probably the second strongest MechaGodzilla in my mind. Like, with all the weapons this guy has, it's a surprise how he wasn't able to just body Godzilla. Well, I mean, he did body him, but it was mostly thanks to Rodan that gave him that new breath power to help out, really. Like, look at that beam! That beam is so powerful. Thank God I managed to get that off in time. Jesus Christ. I'm basically hitting him with my pink eye at the moment. Whoa, that's so powerful! I look like a ghost flying towards him, don't I? Throw more turds at him. It's the only way to keep him on the ground. No, you don't. Flying turds, go! There we go. And he falls with a faceplant. Good stuff.